Yes, I think we are good to go.
Now, the coronavirus has taken over the world quite intelligently, one might say. While leaders in the past fought for years and years for world domination, the coronavirus has done it in just 6 months. It is trending on Twitter, trending in Google, and if you listen to gossip, it's probably trending there too. But even after so much of talk over it, a lot of us still don't know much about it, what it is really like to go through COVID-19. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, on Positive Media Channel, Tejas Trilingual Gavel Club is conducting its first ever online interview. To talk about her experience with COVID-19, I have a dancer and a former research associate, the charismatic, the energetic Miss Lakshmi Das. Please put your hands together for her. Ma'am, how are you feeling today?
You can see me, I'm absolutely fine. Bindas.
Great, that's amazing. So, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Hi, everyone. I am Lakshmi Das. What to say? I was raised here. I have done my schooling like y'all. I'm a student of our own English high school. And then I have 3 kids. I think my elder daughter is in Malavika's class. Then I was in Toastmasters last year. I was a member of the XCOM. I've just taken a short break. We'll be joining soon.
Great. I think we hope to see you. I think a lot of us hope to see you back on track with Toastmasters. So,
Yes.
as you mentioned about spending a lot of your life here in the UAE. So, as an
Yes.
expatriate living in the UAE, what is the one thing that pulls you down and keeps you here and makes you not want to leave this place?
Dubai is more than a second home for me. The the main reason is the security and safety which we get in this country is awesome. I mean, I have to say that. And then another reason is definitely the tolerance of the leaders over here. And then
That's
and then I think I can, I have the freedom to be myself the way I want to dress. Okay, and then I can practice my culture, my religion. That's it. What else do we need? That's why I love this country, especially Dubai.
When the thing is, like, when someone describes UAE, the one thing that they always bring out is that here you will find mosques and churches and temples all
Yes.
side by side coexisting in harmony. So I think that is
Exactly.
a great thing about living here, like you just pointed out. So
Yes.
getting to why you're really here today. The COVID-19, as I had mentioned before, it is an astonishing disease. It is something that has taken the world by surprise, literally driven people into their homes. So my first question to you about on this topic should inevitably be how you feel right now, having emerged from the shadow of the biggest bad guy of the 21st century.
Bad guy. I would not say that bad guy because for me I have just taken it as another flu or cold. Fortunately, okay. What I feel is like I think all of you know that our world has faced even worse, much worse diseases like the Ebola, Nipah, and even incurable diseases like all the autoimmune diseases, Parkinson's. So compared to that, this is just a pandemic. Okay, the spread rate is really, really bad. It's very high. Other than that, I think it's fine. And see, if you look into the ratings, we can know that it's almost 80% are mild. It becomes they get infected, but the symptoms are mild and they're fine. Okay, they recover fast. Just 15% they end up in the ventilator and the ICU. And of course, 5% fatality is there. I do agree. And personally, if I say, it's much better than the chicken pox. Before years, like many years before, I had this, I got the chicken pox thing, but then it was worse. The blisters and itching and everything. Compared to that, I was okay with this, very much okay, because no pain, no wounds, no sutures, no dressing, nothing. It was fine.
Yeah, that is very reassuring to hear, from someone who has experienced it to everyone else who is actually really scared of this disease. So coming to that, I think there is a misconception of COVID wards in hospitals, being bleak and dark and somewhat scary places. If I'm being honest, to the general public, was your experience in the hospital any different from this conception of the people, and how is it different?
Well, on the contrary, my experience was totally different. I think the media, I'm sorry to say, the media is definitely projecting the negative side. To say that, because
Yeah.
I was admitted. Let me tell you the details. I was admitted in Mumbai hospital under DHA reference. The treatment, the medication was on par with the WHO requirements. Everything was just perfect.
So it just basically feels like you took a short vacation and came back.
Definitely, I was really enjoying the. See, I would say that. Yeah, for exactly, to be precise, 5 days I was on medication. First 5 days, and they had told me in prior that you will feel very weak and tired and sleepy. Okay, I had and this one antibiotics, then antibacterial, antiviral, and HCQ, hydroxychloroquine. So these medications makes us very weak and this thing. So otherwise, I was fine. Then on the 6th day, there was a break. Like I felt more energetic. My IV cannula was removed. The medication was less, only cough syrup and the vitamins I had, and then oxygen supply was also there. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, seeing you right now, so full of energy, I think
Exactly the 30th day. Last month, June 11th, I was admitted.
They say, that the irony of 2020 is that the word positive has become the most negative word in this year. So when did you find out? Yes, you were admitted on 11th. So did you
Yes.
find out you were positive on
No.
11th? What were the symptoms that you had, leading up to it?
Yeah. I'll let me just explain in detail. I on the June 2nd night, I started having chills. Okay, at night, three symptoms I had: chills, very bad headache, and body pain. These were the 3 symptoms I had. Okay, that continued from 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th to 5 days. But meanwhile, I being having a medical background, I started taking antibiotics. Okay, I already did the basic thing, and then on the 6th day morning, when I woke up, I had wheezing. But again, as I thought it was due to the sinusitis triggered or some dust allergy or something. But then I consulted with one of my friends who's a doctor. He said that Lakshmi, as the situation is like this, just go to the doctor and just get it checked. So I went to Aster, and then they did an X-ray. Because due to my breathing trouble, they did an X-ray, and the doctor said that I'm having mild pneumonia. And then they insisted me to go do the COVID test. So the very same day, I went to Nadal Hammer and I gave my sample, the nose swab I gave, and I was waiting for it. And I came back home. And again, but all this time, I'm having this breathing difficulty. That's the only symptom which I had. Even without knowing the result, I went to Rashid Hospital emergency. Okay. And then as soon as I reached there, I came to know the result is positive.
Okay.
Then obviously, then they told me that I have to get admitted because it's pneumonia.
So during these 17 days, you probably would have come, across people from different walks of life when you were in the hospital. So is there any interesting story or any lesson that you learned from listening to someone else's experiences during this treatment?
No, Malvika. Actually, we were totally isolated. We are not supposed to meet anyone. But I've heard many experiences. Yeah, definitely, I've heard many experiences. The thing what I understood is that from each one story is that each person's symptoms are so very different that we cannot compare. We cannot compare. Even the recovery is, it's what to say, it's totally unpredictable.
Yeah.
And as it is, there is no medicine or vaccine found for this COVID-19. Immunity is the only thing. Everything depends on immunity. The symptoms, the medication, how it's going to affect us, and how fast we recover.
Yeah, so speaking on immunity, obviously the one thing that this pandemic has put a spotlight on, it is the lack of our concentration on health. We don't pay a lot of attention to our health amidst this fast moving, busy lifestyle that we lead. Um, so people are basically in somewhat of a race right now to boost their immunity to protect themselves from getting COVID-19. So do tell us what immunity boosting lifestyle changes that you've been advised to incorporate after your treatment. Were you advised to bring about certain changes?
It's actually not, I was not advised as such, but I think after all these lockdown days, all of us have understood the importance of homemade, fresh and cooked food. Right. I think all of us must have understood. And then fresh vegetables and fruits, which really boost our immunity.
So yes, like ma'am here just said, we all need to take care of our immunity. We all need to eat our fruits and our vegetables. But along with that, I think, ma'am, you must know that people nowadays, amidst the pandemic, they are going through severe mental health issues, whether it is because of the incoming recession or because of the overload of negative news around us. How important a part do you think mental health plays in the recovery of COVID-19?
I think that's a main thing. The main first is our physical endurance. Okay, along with that, equally should be our emotional endurance. The more positive you are, the earlier your COVID will become negative.
That's an interesting comparison.
Yes.
Because now I think mental health for a long time has been sort of a stigma, really, to accept, to say that you're depressed is a stigma that people have been facing around the world. But because of this, I think it has been brought to the spotlight more, and people are beginning to accept that there is something called mental health that is as important as physical health.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you were a former research associate. How did having a medical background really help you, while battling this disease?
Medical background, yeah. Let me tell from the beginning. When this pandemic started in Wuhan, and all of us started getting news and everything from all these social media and everything. Understood. I was mentally prepared. Yes, I was, because I was ready to overcome, and I was ready, mentally prepared. I think that's the reason why even when I came to know that it was positive, slightest I was not tense at all. I was not at all tensed. So, and then as I told you earlier, I started my antibiotics from the third day itself. As soon as I got the symptoms, maybe that's why it didn't become that severe. Maybe.
Okay.
And then even when I was admitted, they keep us, they keep monitoring us, every 72 hours they used to take the blood test and everything. But then, I used to personally ask the nurse to give me the printouts, and I used to consult with my family doctors. After each blood test, I used to consult with them, and D-dimer value, then there is ferritin, and then the C-reactive protein. So I used to, I was aware of my how the medications was affecting me and how my body is recovering.
Let's get to the fun part then. You are particularly fond of dancing. While I'm sure most people ask you your favorite moments while pursuing this hobby, I want to ask you what your most unexpected moment was and how you dealt with it. If it's a funny experience, it's even better, for the audience to laugh along with.
Dance has always been, the health mantra of my life. I'll tell you one. I think 2 years back, the famous singer K.S. Chitra's 35 years anniversary program, we were giving her a tribute.
Okay.
So, we were late. our names were already announced. The music was ready, and we were still in the parking lot for to park the car, and they were calling us. Mithun, Naila, the Hit FM RJs, they just came here, guys, said, "Come, please, you all are calling straight." And we don't. There was a space.
Yeah, it just helps you think on your feet, and yeah, it gives a lot of amazing memories.
And it was very funny, running between the audience with all our costumes and all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like coming to what you had said about dance being your biggest medicine,
Yes, yes.
helping you so much in your recovery. How do you think dance has helped you and can help others during this lockdown?
Physical, the benefits of dance, I'm sure everybody will be knowing it. But emotionally also, I don't know. I think it's an overall package.
Every part is exciting.
Yes. So this energy is really, even in the hospital. When I was, when it's okay, I put on my adavus.
Said I would definitely encourage everyone to take this up, and any kind of dance that you like, even if
in any kind, in which you get the emotional satisfaction. Understood? Yeah. The emotional satisfaction should be much higher than the physical this thing. In which whatever form it is, either yoga or aerobics, whatever it is, it's fine.
Yeah, because it's only with the emotional that we can, eventually come to the physical and improve our physical endurance. So, is there any closing statement, or are there any takeaway messages you'd like to give to all of our Gavaliers and our guests who are in this meeting today?
What I understood is it's a payback time for humans. Don't you think so? Don't you think? Because what I have noticed in the last decade is that people were becoming, unnecessary. They were becoming too materialistic. For instance, a person would cry over a broken mobile than for a broken relationship.
That's true.
Just think, you all are kids. I'm talking your level. Okay, so maybe this is a nature's alert or a nature's way of cleansing. Okay, to balance it.
Yeah, and along with the air becoming cleaner, I think our minds are becoming cleaner too. We're getting to spend more time with our families.
And the unique opportunity what this lockdown or the corona has given is a me time, family time.
Yes.
To create moments, to become more spend more time with the family, parents, children, everything, right?
That's true. I think before a lot of us were not able to do it.
I think we have done so many things we have never done before. Like I think many of them would have entered the kitchen, done baking and everything, right?
Yes.
More time with family, with parents. Yes. So I'm a person who tries to see only the positive sides of everything. Only the positive sides of it. So I don't have anything much negative to talk about corona. If it comes, be brave, just face it. And one thing, children, I'll tell you, is don't forget Charles Darwin's concept of survival of the fittest. Keep that in mind always. What does it mean, survival of the fittest? The best genes, the better genes, better adaptation, and eventually long-term survival, which we can pass on to next generation. Only the better genes will be able to survive. Keep that in mind. Fight over it. That's it.
That's true. I think your positivity that you have given to us today, it has basically radiated through the screens, and we are feeling it too. I think it was an amazing heart-to-heart that we just had. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for making us feel better armed to fight this pandemic now. Did everyone enjoy that half an hour we had today? Can I hear a yes?
Yes.
That's great. So ma'am, we look forward to having you with us for more of these conversations. Everyone stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinod.
Thank you, Ms. Lakshmi Das, for sharing your great experience with all of us. And both of you really deserve a token of appreciation from us. Since it is a virtual meeting, it will come to you in a virtual manner. Thank you very much.
Thank you.